we have amidst us a very distinguished and highly accomplished Consul General from USA, Mr. Robert G. Burgess. He is a very familiar face to the Chennaiites, and as an art-loving connoisseur, he has participated in many events, and for us in this very milestone Silver Jubilee, his presence reinforces the strong and affectionate bonding that US Consulate has with Hamsadhwani all these years. We have had the privilege of welcoming all the US Consul Generals and officials such as Mr. Bernard Alter, Mr. Fred Kaplan, Mr. Richard Haynes, Mr. David Hopper, Mr. Andrew Simkin, Mrs. Jennifer McIntyre, Mr. Philip Min. All of them have so affectionately, friendly, and been supportive of our art and culture. A coincidence that Mr. Robert G. Burgess, in his pre-foreign service life, had worked as an attorney. Heartening to know that he took his Bachelor of Arts in History and went on to pursue his interests in law, holds a Juris Doctor degree from the University of California, Hastings College of Law and Business Administration from University of Texas. Such a very scholarly and erudite person on stage. He has carved himself a niche, for he has handled many assignments that has been chosen to promote, that he has been rightly chosen to promote building US-India relations, particularly in the southern states, and we all look forward to his continuing stint, not only in the US Consulate in Chennai, but occupy higher offices in the years to come. In all our interactions in the past few years, he has shown remarkable qualities of being friendly, humane, and courteous. Appreciative of the arts and culture, you can spot him in many cultural events, enjoying the presentation. I do not know, one day suddenly he may turn to dhoti and you may miss him for another seasoned Chennaiite, but that's his commitment to art and culture in Chennai. I have enjoyed listening to him on many occasions, and apart from a deep insight on the subject and a fresh perspective, he has a characteristic humor that captures our attention. It's indeed befitting that we have with us Mr. Robert Burgess, a multifaceted achiever amidst us, to hail and celebrate fine arts and encourage the talent of many Indians who live in United States, which is the destination for quality education. And I am reminded of the quote, "The essence of great leadership is influence, not authority." Robert Burgess has been a guiding influence in the consulate, and he is adored by his colleagues and all the team members in the consulate, and I have interacted with most of his subordinates as well. He is here to endorse and reiterate the priceless heritage and cultural ethos that we can be proud of. Our US Consul General will also be delighted to know that we are featuring 56 non-resident Indian artists, and 45 of them are from United States of America, which is a good 80%. And of course, we have artists from Australia, New Zealand, Germany, Singapore, Muscat, and South Africa. Such a rare eminence, two jurists on stage, the judge and an attorney, they have certainly raised the bar with their presence amidst us to set the tone for a 14-day festival featuring 28 programs, including Veena, Jalatarangam, and Bharatanatyam. Guru Madurai R. Muralidharan, who is here with us, is a renowned exponent of Bharatanatyam and a celebrated guru, and along with his illustrious wife Chitra Muralidharan, has trained scores of pupils in Nritya Kshetra Academy of Dance. And if you listen to the feat that they have done, a stupendous feat of having premiered the Arangetram of 450 students, not a small number. They have brought great repute to our art form, and they have pursued many new challenging themes like Sivagami and Shabadam and Karna, and delighted audiences for their choreographic excellence. Today's evening, Yadava Madhava, is a special theme, and as we invoke the blessings of Mahavishnu, we are bound to make a vibrant start and usher positivity in the month of Margari, and look forward to year 2020. On 1st January, being the birthday of our founder R. Ramachandran, the Hamsadhwani RRC Award of Excellence will be given to Sneha for their service in suicide prevention area, and this will be followed by a concert by Anil Srinivasan piano and J.A. Jayant flute. Our domestic season, as they would say in cricket, starts on 15 January after all the din is over in the other parts of the city, and will go on till 15th April with concert events, mostly on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. We are working on the schedule, and we will share with you. A drama festival will commence on 19 January, dedicated to Crazy Mohan. I request all the members to share their WhatsApp and email address, and also log into our website to know more about this. I must mention and introduce to this audience one of our committee members, Aparna Gopalakrishnan, who has worked tirelessly for the... Aparna, if you can just come onto the stage. One of the new committee members who has worked tirelessly on the NRI festival and has been a sincere person, and she is very keen to harness digital technology, as she is so conversant with that, and so many of us are behind in that area. I thank Shri T.R. Gopalan, my colleague secretary, Shri M. Radhakrishnan, assistant secretary, for their support, and of course my mother Padma Ramachandran for all their help in taking Hamsadhwani forward, and the rest of the committee members. I'm not mentioning the names. The entire team has been with us, and the youth hostel and the staff of Hamsadhwani in coming together for this very special evening. Music touches us emotionally where words alone can't. Now, let's enjoy music and dance and celebrate December, Margari, and 2020. I once again take great pride in welcoming the very eminent guests on stage, and with a round of cheer, greet them once again and thank them for honoring our invitation and being with us this evening. Thank you. I request our President Ramnath Mani to honor Honorable Justice Thiru TEEKAARAMAN. I request our President Ramnath Mani to do the honors to the Chief Guest, Robert G. Burgess, the Consul General of the United States of America. I would now request the eminent jurists, I would say, and the eminent guests on stage to felicitate the NRI Vidwans, and I request Aparna to read the citation, which will be followed by the honors to the eminent NRI Vidwans.
Hamsadhwani NRI Festival Silver Jubilee Celebrations, 25th NRI Music Dance Festival 2019 presents this scroll of honor to Shri Ramnath Iyer for her outstanding contribution to promoting Carnatic music as a Vainika, performing along with your brother, and a guru teaching scores of pupils. We laud your services to our art forms and appreciate your participation and support to Hamsadhwani's pioneering initiative of an exclusive NRI music festival. On this Silver Jubilee occasion, we recognize your services to the propagation of our music in Australia. We wish you many more years of service to music, good health, happiness, and joy. 18th December 2019, in the presence of Justice Thiru RMT TEEKAARAMAN, Justice High Court of Madras, Mr. Robert G. Burgess, Consul General, U.S. Consulate. NRI Festival, Silver Jubilee Celebrations, 25th NRI Music and Dance Festival 2019 presents this scroll of honor to Shri Gopinath Iyer for your outstanding contribution in promoting Carnatic music as a Vainika, performing along with your brother, and a guru teaching scores of pupils. We laud your services to our art forms and appreciate your participation and support to Hamsadhwani's pioneering initiative of an exclusive NRI music festival. On this Silver Jubilee celebration, we recognize your services in the propagation of our music in Australia. We wish you many more years of service to music, good health, happiness, and joy. 18th December 2019, in the presence of Justice Thiru RMT TEEKAARAMAN, Judge High Court of Madras, Mr. Robert G. Burgess, Consul General, U.S. Consulate. NRI Festival, Silver Jubilee Celebrations, 25th NRI Music and Dance Festival 2019 presents the Scroll of Honor to Sri Shankar Ramani for your outstanding contribution in promoting Carnatic music as a vocalist performing all over the world and as a guru teaching scores of pupils. We laud your services to our art forms and appreciate your participation and support to Hamsadhwani's pioneering initiative of an exclusive NRI music festival. On this Silver Jubilee occasion, we recognize your services to the propagation of our music in USA. We wish you many more years of service to music, good health, happiness, and joy. 18th December 2019, in the presence of Justice Thiru RMT TEEKAARAMAN, Judge High Court of Madras, Mr. Robert G. Burgess, Consul General, U.S. Consulate. NRI Festival Silver Jubilee Celebrations, 25th NRI Music and Dance Festival 2019 presents the Scroll of Honor to Sri Manikam Yogeshwaran for your outstanding contribution in promoting Carnatic music as a vocalist performing all over the world and as a guru teaching scores of pupils. We laud your services to our art forms and appreciate your participation in support to Hamsadhwani's pioneering initiative of an exclusive NRI music festival. On this Silver Jubilee celebrations, we recognize your services to the propagation of our music in Germany. We wish you many more years of services to music, good health, happiness, and joy. 18th December 2019, in the presence of Justice Thiru RMT TEEKAARAMAN, Judge High Court of Madras, Mr. Robert G. Burgess, Consul General, U.S. Consulate.
Thank you, esteemed guests on stage, for doing the honors to the eminent NRI Vidwans. Now we will have Mr. Robert G. Burgess, U.S. Consul General, offer his felicitations.
Mr. Justice RMT TEEKAARAMAN, Judge of the Madras High Court, Mr. Sundar, Mr. Mani, distinguished guests on the dais, distinguished guests in the audience. Vanakkam, namaskaram, greetings and good evening. I am truly honored and humbled to be here to join you to inaugurate the 25th Hamsadhwani NRI Festival. I want to thank you for that most generous introduction. And I also want to thank the Hamsadhwani organization for inviting me this year. It really is a pleasure to join with the long list of my predecessors who've stood on this stage to inaugurate this important festival. And it's an honor for me to participate and join here as we launch the season. And as we launch the music season in Chennai, this event provides a real platform for talent from around the world, non-resident Indians, Indian Americans, to showcase their artistic talents. We know that the music season here in Chennai brings out performances of the highest caliber, and that so many artists come from abroad to participate in classical music and dance testifies to the growing interest in the South Indian arts and culture and stands as a symbol of the universality of this art. The December NRI festival characterizes Chennai as a prominent seat of culture, providing homecoming to many of the artists with roots in Chennai. Now, I understand that many of the Indian American musicians over the years have really established their careers here after the introduction through the NRI festival, finding a prominent place and name for themselves in Chennai's vibrant Carnatic music field. You know, great American author Mark Twain visited India and offered up an observation that I'd like to share. He described India in this way: India is the one sole country under the sun that is endowed with an imperishable interest for alien prince and alien peasant, for lettered and ignorant, wise and fool, rich and poor, bond and free, the one land all men desire to see, and having seen once, by even a glimpse, would not give that glimpse for the shows of all the rest of the world combined. Now, having spent more than 2 years now in South India at the Consulate in Chennai, I can confirm Twain's observation based on my own experience. India is an incredible country, and so much of what takes place and so much of what makes it unique is this reverence for art, the art forms refined over centuries of practice and performance. India's traditions of nonviolence and pluralism, its diversity and tolerance, its yoga and Ayurveda, its Bollywood, and its classical music and dances are well known in the United States and around the world. But these contributions from India go back centuries. Swami Vivekananda, a great son of India, he rose to worldwide fame after his famous address at the Parliament of World Religions in Chicago in 1893. He was a trained musician himself, and he noted early on India's gifts to the world in music. One observation he offered was, in music, India gave to the world her system of notation, with the 7 cardinal notes and the diatonic scale, all of which we enjoyed as early as 350 BC. Well, it came to Europe only in the 11th century. So India's contributions to the world's heritage, the world's cultural heritage, are immeasurable. And that's one thing that we're celebrating here tonight. And as I noted earlier, India and the United States have long had significant cultural ties, and that includes Carnatic music in the United States. And here, I'm proud to say that government has helped a little bit, helped promote those ties. The U.S. State Department has famously sponsored musical tours to take American jazz around the world, from artists like Louis Armstrong and even to the Duke Ellington Orchestra, which performed and visited in then Madras more than 50 years ago. But another government program, the Fulbright Program, early on helped take Carnatic music to the United States, sponsoring scholars and teachers who took up residence at U.S. universities. And prominent South Indian musicians and artists have helped introduce Carnatic music and art to the United States, particularly early on at Wesleyan University in Connecticut. American musicologist Dr. Robert Brown, who was himself a connoisseur of Carnatic music, helped connect Connecticut and Chennai in the 1960s and foster closer ties between Indian traditions and American culture. And since 1961, Wesleyan University has offered courses on South Indian music. And the university's Navaratri Festival celebrated its 43rd anniversary this past October. And other American cities celebrate Carnatic music. San Diego has a famous festival. And over the past 30 years, the Cleveland Thiagaraja Festival has grown into the largest South Indian music and dance festival outside of India. And it's not a stretch to say that for 12 days each spring, Mylapore comes to the shores of Lake Erie. And it's these types of initiatives, large and small, by cultural organizations like Hamsadhwani, supported by private and corporate sponsorships, that continue to sustain the arts and strengthen the multifaceted relationship between our countries and our cultures. This support, whether from a formal program, from universities, from private philanthropy, or from the patronage of the audiences, builds these ties and enriches our lives. I mentioned earlier the Fulbright Program as a sponsor of such connections. And in India, today, we have the largest such Fulbright program in the world. And its impact has been so significant that the government of India co-sponsors parts of it under the banner of the Fulbright Nehru Program. Now, this program sponsors U.S. and foreign participants for exchanges in all areas of endeavor, from the sciences, business, academia, public service, government, and the arts. And over the past 70 years, more than 19,000 scholars and students and teachers have participated in India and from India to the United States. I don't have the exact number of how many were involved directly in the arts, but I have met so many musicians, teachers, and scholars who have shared the culture of South India with students and faculties and the public in the United States through this program. The late Senator Fulbright, who started this program in the aftermath of World War II, in a real idea of optimism and hope that we could promote the connections and cultural exchange between countries around the world, said of art, "In the field of art, artistic expression is a means of communication between the people of diverse national and cultural backgrounds. In an age when some of the more prosaic means of communication seem to be breaking down in the conflicts of opposing political and ideological opinion, artistic expression and communication become more important. For the language of the artist transcends political and cultural barriers." I love that. For the language of the artist transcends political and cultural barriers. Indian art links us to a deep past, bridging ancient traditions with the present, and indicates a hopeful direction for our future. I am deeply proud and honored to be here at an event where so many Indian American artists will participate, and to witness the continuation of this long and rich tradition of arts excellence in South India. My best wishes to all of the artists who will participate this year, and my best wishes to all of you for a wonderful music season. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Burgess. Now that you are so seasoned in Chennai, it's always a pleasure to hear you talk so much about our art and culture, and you bring always a wonderful perspective to what we do. Thanks for your time and thanks for your presence. Now I request justice to be delivered. Over to Honorable Justice.
Good evening to all. Respected Consulate General of USA in Chennai and Hamsadhwani organizers and ladies and gentlemen and artists from United States and other parts of the country. Actually, I come prepared with some collections of this art and culture and interactions. But our Consulate General has covered almost 3/4 of my preparation. So I have left with only 1/4. And I feel lucky in that way. I don't want to repeated the same thing about the interactions and the intercultural relationships. And the Consulate General has given the statistics and how far the history and everything. The fourth part, which is now giving a hand for me to carry forward for at least for 5 minutes, is my assimilation of thought, which I had 3 years before while sitting in the Chief Justice Court Hall. Don't think that I am just going away from the function, but at the end of the thing, we can understand the bottom line of the story. When I was sitting along with the acting Chief Justice in the Chief Justice Court Hall in Madras High Court, a case from the Thoothukudi came. Actually, the case has been already disposed of some years ago. For clarification with regard to certain things, it was specially sports case. So when I was traveling from my Greenways Bangla to the High Court, I was just going through the bundle. It is a senior scientist from the top 3 rank in the ICMR Marine Lab in Thoothukudi. He has filed a case that was disposed of. Then he wants some clarification regarding services. And around 4 o'clock, the case was taken up before the Chief Justice Court Hall. And I see that this man was worked as director, bracket, adaptation, to spell ADA, PhD. So, as a student of science, I find marine adaptation. Then I asked the advocate, senior advocate, what is this marine adaptation bracket you put it? So he said, sir, I also don't know, but the scientist himself is here, he will explain. Then I told him, sir, in the legal fraternity we have adoption, ADO, that spelling. But in your post you have been described as a director, scientist, bracket, adaptation. And the Google says adaptation and what the actual work you do. And really I find it that the scientist, he has explained this. In marine biology, the adaptation means the marine species have a tendency to change and adapt itself to the nearest environment. And in Thoothukudi, you all know that it is once famous for the oyster. When we say oyster, we'll jump to the conclusion, pearl and our ring, black pearl, which was a royal ornament used by the British queens and things for blackwood. Then the scientist says, sir, this is not this oyster, this is a edible oyster. And I asked him, sir, vegetarian? Then he said, no, sir, it is a non-vegetarian. And oyster mushroom is vegetarian, but this is a non-vegetarian. And this is a very important aspect about it is it has got a very rich in calcium, soluble state, easy to solve, and no residues in the body, more or less very minimum. It is highly medicinal value for the advanced stage of senior citizens who lacks calcium. Besides, for all gynec problems, this edible oyster is considered to be a substitute, ranging from puberty age to the post-menopause and thereafter the calcium. And it is a high potent of zinc, which is essential for a married man for progeny. So we consider this as a nature's gift. But since it is within the 30 nautical miles of Thoothukudi, this oyster is also going for adaptation. By changing its medicinal property, by the period of time it is lowing. So we are doing the differential calculus of how to preserve this medicinal value, because this particular species, a marine species, which is they consider to be a nature's gift for medicinal value for progeny, and therefore we are doing the research for anti-adaptive techniques so that this oyster does not go for adaptations. So he also said men are from monkeys, that is a genetical evaluation. So we are preventing this edible oyster from adapting to the level, thereby it loses the medical value. We want to preserve this medical value to pass it on to the next generation. And by the roster, we are also had a case of that, as I said, the legal adoption between the, most of them must be knowing about the Chettiar family. And there was an adoption from the family because the Royal Chettiar does not have the child. Biological parents, adoption, that case was also came. That is after some time. And the senior advocate from Supreme Court has said, sir, for valid adoption, the person from the biological family, after completing the religious formality, move over to the new family. He adapts to the food habits, he adapts to the dress materials, he adapts to the environment, acceptance of the new area as his own, and recognition by the new family as his own. These are all the legal requirement for valid adoption. And during the vacation, I also visited the European tour. Like others, my group of people find it very difficult to take the European food. Only they preferred Indian food. Then with 3 domains of my experience, I filed. Adoption is very difficult, but last week I met the Hamsadhwani President Secretary in a family function of Krishna Sweets Murali sir. And he said, sir, Hamsadhwani is celebrating the 25th NRI. People who have been migrated to America, adapted to everything, but still they preserve our cultural value. And this idea was conceived by my father. I said immediately, a similar thought was running for more than 3 years in my mind. I thought I will definitely attend the program. On a compare and contrast between these two, I find the Hamsadhwani co-founder and president and secretaries, their line of thinking is like ICMR project. In the ICMR project, they wanted to preserve the species, not to, that they prevent the medical, they want to preserve the medical values of the oyster by anti-adoption techniques. But the Hamsadhwani has taken this initiative, not today, 25 years ago. They had a forethought, they had a vision, and the SARS father and other members put their head together and bring out the brainchild Hamsadhwani, and also figured the chapter NRI, so that the people who migrated from our place to move over to the America, though they are adapted to all kinds of valid adoption, as I said in the legal sense, still they wanted to preserve the cultural value of Tamil Nadu and South India. To that in mind, they have been applied. So I thought, even before 25 years, they had a vision, what could be the thing. By moving over to the migration people and their adaptive behaviors to the foreign land, and still they wanted to conceive the cultural values and to prevent it going the adoption in eroding our cultural value also. So I find that, sir, really your efforts needs to be congratulations. I definitely come to the program. I take this opportunity to congratulate the Hamsadhwani for their having the forethought to include this NRI. Now all the sabhas are now adopted, but they are the pioneer in the field. They thought over it and they adapted it. But incidentally, I had this experience in the court. Only on last Monday in the Murali Sir's functions, I came to know about it. So I thought I can come. And I can say that the Consulate General is present here. And he has extended his wonderful protocol for the promoting the Indian culture. And such a patronage from such a constitutional authority, I was very pleased to note. And I extend my congratulations to the Consulate General for promoting the Indian cultures, especially for NRIs. Despite his busy schedule, he has taken his time break and come over here. And I also thank the organizers to share some of the views on this kind of adoption. As I said, this is a unique thing which we have to appreciate, and it has now come a long way. Hamsadhwani has completed 30 years. The NRI program has also completed 25 years. I feel very happy and proud to be a participant in this program. And I thank one and all for this opportunity. And I also wish the NRI edition of the Hamsadhwani all success. Thank you.
On this very happy occasion, to have the wonderful support of an eminent jurist is reassuring, and his words of wisdom and his comparison to a wonderful episode that he experienced really will be remembered by this audience for a very long time. I once again thank the Honorable Justice for sparing his time for this very special evening for us. We have the wonderful dance drama by Madurai R. Muralidharan and Chitra Muralidharan, and it is appropriate that we honor them on this very occasion. I request our President, joined by the other VVIPs, to do the honors to them. I invite Shruti Bhatt, who rendered the wonderful invocation, to receive a memento from the Consul General of US. A happy start. மார்கழி பிறந்த இந்த மாதத்தில் இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு வைபவம் நடக்கிறதுன்னா உங்களோட ஒத்துழைப்பினால. I thank all the artists who are going to join Guru Muralidharan's team, and of course the wonderful parents who train their children in this great art. With these words, I express my heartfelt gratitude to Justice Thiru TEEKAARAMAN and Thiru Consul General Mr. Robert Burgess and the artists. Let's enjoy the season. Tomorrow we have Ramnath Iyer and Gopinath Iyer presenting a Veena duet at 7 p.m. At 5:15 p.m. we have a rescheduled program. Sharad Rajaraman will render a vocal concert accompanied by Sri Lakshmi Bhatt and Varun on Mridangam. Within a few minutes, we will set up the stage and commence the program. Once again, I request all of you to stay back and enjoy this crisp presentation of Yadava Madhava. Thank you. Enjoy the evening. Thanks a lot.
On behalf of